Making the headlines tonight. Prime Minister Hun Sen recommends that the Cambodia-Lao bilateral cooperation should be evaluated and put in place policies that help and complement each other for the benefit of both countries. The Director General of the General Department of Customs and Excise confirms that additional officials will be sent to the Cambodian-Thai border to strengthen measures to prevent the smuggling in of right-hand drive vehicles. Boris Johnson will likely announce his resignation as British Prime Minister on Thursday after being abandoned by newly appointed ministers and more than 50 others, leaving the government dangerously close to paralysis. And holograms help to train doctors at one of the UK's most prestigious universities. This is the Daily Roundup on EAC News Channel. A very good evening to you. I'm Darshana Gauchan. Prime Minister Hun Sen has recommended that the Cambodia-Lao bilateral cooperation should be evaluated and put in place policies that help and complement each other for the benefit of both countries. EAC News reporter Decca Nin has more.
The Prime Minister made this statement during a meeting and courtesy call with the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Laos, Salamsay Komasid, in response to a request for advice regarding how to improve relations and cooperation between the two countries before the meeting of the Joint Commission for Bilateral Cooperation between Cambodia and Laos. The Lao Foreign Minister also relayed greetings from the President and Prime Minister of Laos to Prime Minister Hun Sen and congratulated him and the Cambodian People's Party on their landslide victory at the recent commune elections. He said that these election results reflect the people's trust in the correct leadership and politics of Prime Minister Hun Sen. The minister also congratulated the Cambodian Prime Minister for leading ASEAN successfully and said Laos is committed to supporting Cambodia in its ASEAN chairmanship, especially the steps taken by Cambodia to find a solution to ongoing conflict in Myanmar. Taking this opportunity, the Lao Foreign Minister also expressed his deep gratitude to Prime Minister Hun Sen and the Royal Government of Cambodia for helping Laos fight the spread of COVID-19. In response, Prime Minister Hun Sen thanked Minister Salamsay Komasid for relaying the message of congratulations from the President and Prime Minister of Laos and further thanked him for the congratulations on the results of Commune Sangkat Council elections as well as the support of Laos to Cambodia in leading ASEAN and finding a solution for Myanmar. It should be noted that Minister Salamsay Komasid is visiting Cambodia to chair the 14th meeting of the Joint Commission for Bilateral Cooperation, Cambodia and Laos. The Lao Foreign Minister previously visited Cambodia in February of this year to strengthen relations and cooperation between Cambodia and Laos. Dekanin, EAC News.
The Director General of the General Department of Customs and Excise, Kun Nyam, confirmed that he will send additional officials to the Cambodian-Thai border to strengthen measures to prevent the smuggling in of right-hand drive vehicles into the country. He said that right-hand drive cars getting illegally imported into Cambodia is a chronic problem that needs a long time to solve. EAC News reporter Decca Nin has further details.
Responding to a question from EAC News at a press conference on the results of the tax collection on duty-free vehicles and import duties, Director General Kun Nyam confirmed that at present, the General Department of Customs and Excise is preparing procedures and making decisions on the registration of right-hand drive vehicles that are already in the country, along with strengthening restrictions at the Cambodia-Thai border to prevent further smuggling of right-hand drive vehicles into Cambodia. He said that the reason why the smuggling in of right-hand drive vehicles into the country has been such a long-standing problem is because the Cambodian-Thai border is very long and the department does not have enough forces to place along the border. He said that in general, the flagging of illegal right-hand drive cars have always been done when the cars have already been smuggled into traffic in Cambodia, and Phnom Penh has recorded the greatest number of these illegal vehicles. He added that since this problem of illegally importing right-hand drive cars has been around for many years, a lot of time is needed to solve this issue, along with educating the people about the illegal status of these vehicles.
សំណួរមួយទៀតថាតើអាចសន្យាទេថាវាអត់មានរថយន្តរថពន្ធខុសច្បាប់មកចូលមកស្រុកប្រទេសឆ្នាំ2022ឬក្រោយពីនោះបញ្ហានេះជាបញ្ហាលំបាកយើងដឹងហើយដូចខ្ញុំជម្រាបអញ្ចឹងថាព្រំដែនវាទូលាយវាវែងឡាយហើយជនខិលខូចនៅតែមានវាអត់អស់ណាជនខិលខូចវានៅតែមានតែថាឲ្យអស់ 100% ប្រហែលជាលំបាកណាតែយើងប្រឹងប្រែងអនុវត្តទូនទីរបស់យើងទៅកាត់បន្ថយឲ្យបានជាអតិបរមា
Speaking at a meeting with delegation from the ASEAN Para Games on Wednesday morning, 6th of July, Prime Minister Hun Sen announced that he has decided to allow existing right-hand drive vehicles to pay their tax without having to adjust the position of their steering wheel to alleviate the difficulties experienced by car owners. He stressed, however, that this applies only for car owners of right-hand drive vehicles that are already in the Kingdom of Cambodia. Any newly imported right-hand drive cars after 6th of July will be immediately seized. On the morning of Thursday, 7th of July, owners of right-hand drive cars that have already changed the positioning of their steering wheels protested to the government to withdraw this new decision, urging to keep the requirement stating that all right-hand drive cars need to change the position of the steering wheel to the left side, just as they had done. Regarding this case, Director General Kun Yim said that it is the right of the people to protest, but no other instructions or decisions have been provided yet from their leader, so the department will continue to practice in accordance with the stated orders of the Prime Minister.
ហើយឡែកហើយចំណុចពាក់ព័ន្ធរឿងតវ៉ានេះយើងនឹងតាមដានតទៅមុខទៀតថាតើមានការវិវត្តដូចម្ដេចប៉ុន្តែសម្រាប់អគ្គនាយកដ្ឋានគរដ្ឋកកម្ពុជាមិនទាន់បានទទួលការណែនាំពីថ្នាក់ដឹកនាំទេយើងធ្វើការលើអ្វីដែលកំពុងនៅជាធរមាននៅឡើយកំពុងតែរៀបចំកិត្តគូអនុវត្តហើយអនុវត្តនេះគឺចង់អនុវត្តឲ្យបានឆាប់
According to a report from the General Department of Customs and Excise, over the course of the 10-month campaign to implement tax on duty-free and tax-free vehicles, 9,753 right-hand drive vehicles came to pay taxes and deposit money to change their steering direction. From the total tax collected, 2,713 left-hand drive vehicles collected a total tax of nearly $35 million, and more than 7,040 right-hand drive vehicles collected a total tax of over $41 million. Lekanin, EAC News.
In the first 6 months of 2022, the General Department of Customs and Excise has collected more than $1.2 billion in tax, equivalent to more than 50.01% of their plan. Compared to the same period in 2021, there has been an increase of more than $134 million in tax. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has the details.
The Director General of the General Department of Customs and Excise of Cambodia, Kun Yim, said during the press conference on the results of the tax collection on duty-free vehicles and existing import duties on Thursday morning, the 7th of July, that good revenue taxes as a result of the reopening of the country by the government at the end of 2021. He added that some of the revenue come from tax collections on existing tax-evasive cars in the country. He said, according to the figures, we should have the revenue from vehicles accounts from about 43% of total revenue collected by the Customs Department. Considering collections specifically on cars, not larger group of vehicles, because vehicles account for more than just cars, about 30% of the total revenue collected by Customs was from cars. Thus, this is an important source of revenue for the national budget that we focus on managing, suppressing tax evasion and performing our duties. According to a report from the General Department of Customs and Excise, over the course of the 10-month campaign to implement tax on duty-free and tax-free vehicles, 9,753 right-handed drive vehicles come to pay taxes and deposit money to charge their steering wheel. From the total tax collected, 2,713 left-hand drive vehicles collected the total tax of nearly $35 million. And more than 7,040 right-hand drive vehicles collected a total tax of over $41 million. In 2021, when Cambodia was experiencing a significant COVID-19 outbreak, customs revenue fell sharply. In the first 6 months of the year, the state collected around $1.1 billion, a decrease of 8.9% compared to 2020, and achieved only 49% of the tax plan. However, customs revenue has improved over the royal government announcement of the reopening of the country in all areas on 1st of November 2021, after Cambodia successfully vaccinated 100% of its targets group. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of our platforms and channels. The EAC News app, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eacnews.asia. Join me and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear.
Boris Johnson will announce his resignation as British Prime Minister on Thursday, the BBC reported, after being abandoned by newly appointed ministers and more than 50 others in a rebellion that had left the government dangerously close to paralysis.
Prime Minister, how's your week going? Terrific.
With 8 ministers, including 2 secretaries of state, resigning just in the last 2 hours, an isolated and powerless Johnson was set to bow to the inevitable and declare he was stepping down later, media reports said. Boris Johnson will resign as a Conservative Party leader today, the BBC political editor Chris Mason said. After days of battling his job, Johnson has been abandoned by all but a handful of allies. It was far cry from when Johnson, 58, rose to power in 2019 when he won the large majority, capturing voters in parts of Britain that have never been supported his Conservative Party before. Even his finance minister, Nadhim Zahawi, who was appointed to his post on Wednesday, had called his boss to resign. This is not sustainable and will not only get worse for you, for the Conservative Party, and most importantly, of all the country. He said on Twitter, "You must do the right thing and go now."
The Transport Secretary and your new...
Let's have a look at today's finance. The CSX index is currently at 486.18 points, down 0.93 points or 0.19%. The National Bank of Cambodia's daily exchange rate is 4,077 Khmer Rial to the USD. And now a look at what else is happening in finance around the world.
The dollar rose to fresh 20-year highs on Wednesday. The euro tumbled to new decade low as rising energy prices cut a long shadow over the eurozone economic but ballisted the US currency safe haven appeal. The dollar and the euro were little changed after release of minutes from the Federal Reserve's meeting in June, when the US Central Bank hiked interest rates by an oversized 75 basis points in an effort to quell inflation. Earlier, the dollar index, which tracks the greenback against 6 currencies, shot above $1.07, while the euro tumbled below $1.02. Both levels have last seen in December 2002. The index is up 12% year to date, as is set the best year since 2014. The dollar index rose 0.498% to 107.04, with the euro down 0.8% to $1.0.184. The index hit a high at 107.27, and the euro slipped 1% to a low of $1.063 earlier. According to preliminary data, the SP 500 gained 14.08 points or 0.37% to end at 3,845.47 points, while the Nasdaq Composite gained 39.96 points or 0.35% to 11,362.20. The Dow Jones Industrial Average DJI rose 68.41 points or 0.22% to 31,036.23. Bitcoin rose 1.2% to $20,409.69. That's the latest news on finance. Tune in tomorrow for more.
And finally, holograms are helping to train doctors at one of the UK's most prestigious universities, replacing actors who traditionally put student medics through their paces by pretending to be unwell.
Can you tell if this patient is suffering from asthma,
The technology uses the latest in mixed reality and features a lifelike holographic patient in an imaginary hospital bed combined with any other students or teachers in the room at the time. The instructor can change a patient's response or introduce complications in real time as the session is underway. Dr. Ruby Woodward, a specialist in simulation training and immersive technologies, said that these scenarios recreate scenarios that might not necessarily be seen often, but the students still need to practice. She believes that this training is a good complement to the education, but the doctors in training will still need to do the rounds in the ward to practice their communication skill. The new mixed reality training application is called Holo Scenarios and is being developed by CUH in partnership with Los Angeles-based tech company GigXR. The technology allows training to be delivered to medics anywhere in the world with an internet connection and can be tailored to look like the resources, infrastructure, and ethnicity that they will work with when they qualify. GigXR founder David King Lastman said that the use of the technology is a wonderful expression of where the metaverse would make sense. The first module features a hologram patient with asthma, followed by anaphylaxis, pulmonary embolism, and pneumonia. Further modules in cardiology and neurology are in development.
Is the Director of Postgraduate Education at Cambridge University Hospitals.
And the first scenario we're testing out at the moment.
Thank you for watching the Daily Roundup on EAC News Channel. For more breaking news and updates, you can check out our website, eacnews.asia, or search EAC News on Telegram, Smart TV, or at your favorite app store. More from the EAC News team tomorrow night at 8 p.m. We will see you then.